How are you, Dustin?
I'm good. Except my hair's wet. Toddler baths, man.
I just don't bathe. That's how I keep my hair from being wet.
That's a personal problem.
It's a huge
Glad
problem.
we're on Skype.
Yep. It's led to a lot of issues in my life.
You literally have those cartoon stink lines coming off of you right now.
I have the pig pen dust
the
cloud.
pig pen dust cloud.
I wanted to talk to you about this Pixar thing because we sort of talked about it already, not on the show, but I figured it was a spiritual sequel to our physical media discussion about Inside Out 2, which, by the way, that was the one that aired last week. And my kids are excited for it to be coming onto Disney Plus on the 25th, which will have happened by the time people hear this. And only problem, and that's good, great, good for everybody. Everything's cool.
Yep.
But then I think it was you sent us this IGN article that was, surprise, surprise, all is not well if you're an animator.
Right.
Even if you work at Pixar, one of the dream jobs for animators, one of the dream companies, dream work cultures. And it's not good. The title of the article is Inside Out 2. Titles, by the way, are essentially log lines now. It's not like trouble in Pixar. It's like a full sentence.
It's like a full thing. Yeah.
Inside Out 2 was the hit Pixar needed, but the laid off employees who crunched on it are still hurting.
That's not a headline. That's a full, that's the article.
That's the first. I mean, that's really it.
That's the article in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Do you remember that joke on The Office when Michael Scott is doing a headline and he's like, local Scranton business paper company, and it like goes on forever, and he's like, some businesses still know how business is done. It's like 27 words long, comma,
semicolon.
Yes,
some people still know how business is done.
Yes.
Yep. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
But brief aside, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing this, but I just became aware they made an Australian office now.
Yes, they did. Yep. But I mean,
what's your hot take on that?
Everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, they've done a lot of offices. Why are we focused on this one?
Have they done other offices?
Yes. Let's see.
Oh God. Sorry, Pixar. We'll get to you. Hold on. Let me grab my water while I'm at it. I just figured while we're abandoning the animators, I may as well literally walk out of frame and get a water.
Obviously, the longest running version of the series is the U.S. adaptation, ran for 9 seasons. Mm-hmm. A follow-up of the U.S. version was announced in 2024 for Peacock, and 2024 also saw Amazon Prime Video debut Australian version of The Office. This is why, featuring the franchise's first female lead character. That's why this is in the news.
Michael Scott character is a woman?
Is a woman. But yes,
there is
a Canadian version.
Is it Lydia Tarr?
That'd be great. There's a Canadian version, a Chile version, a Czech Republic version, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, India, Israel, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, the UK, and the US.
Wow.
So there's a ton of versions of this. And I've been wondering, like, why is everyone all been out of shape over this one? Well, that makes sense now, because everyone's like, a woman can't be a comedy. Have we not seen Ghostbusters?
I won't say the follow-up to any of these jokes, but I do wonder what the Saudi Arabia office is about, like what the day-to-day conflicts are.
Yeah, don't say any of the jokes.
I'll say one thing. I feel like they can't possibly be silly. They have to all be extremely real, terrible problems.
It ran for one season.
It's strange to me how some things can be adapted to a different culture, and some things that are like pulled from American culture, where we've likely hit the lowest common denominator of the humor.
Yeah, most broad.
This is kind of where, if it's been adapted to the US, that's kind of where it stops. It sort of dies with us.
Yeah.
For better or worse. And I feel like if you are, Indonesia and you're like, what American sitcom can we adapt? Like, I don't know. They're all sort of quintessentially American. Like,
yeah, right.
Like it becomes American because it's like that what they're doing in Britain is cool, but we have a few more freedoms than they do. So let's pull it over here and like broaden it up and widen it up. And then, and that's it.
I need you to improv with me the North Korean version of Seinfeld. I'm just kidding. Let's not improv that.
I was just trying to think of a different instrument to do the ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-doo.
A sungi horn.
I'm just picturing, like, again, I won't say anything, but I'm picturing like Kim Jong-un like doing the stand up at the beginning of the. But like all the people are, cardboard. There's no real audience. They're just plaster audience members. And he's like, you ever notice how everyone hates us and thinks we're crazy? And you just cut to the audience and it's just mannequins.
I was gonna go the other direction. They cut to the audience and no one's laughing.
Yeah,
and then somebody goes, and then everyone starts laughing.
The audience is just incredibly nervous.
Hilarious.
And that's and then the episode starts.
There's a lot for you to cut out so far. Let's make an actual episode we can air.
I'm gonna keep the North Korea bit, but everything else probably should go.
Okay.
All right. So what we're talking about Pixar. So anyways, well, good luck to the Australian office. I probably won't be checking it out, but good luck to him. There was a few, just to transition out of this topic, there was some stuff lately. I can't remember, like some show came out and I just remember thinking like, I feel like 6 months ago it would have been like, oh, cool. And I had to like go through the 12 steps and be like, I don't need to watch this. I don't need to watch this.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what it was. I think it might have been like I don't know. Maybe it was the Penguin, or something else, like some other show where I was like, that seems cool. And I was like, that you don't have to watch this. It was Penguin was one of them, but there was the Dune. I knew about the Dune prophecy show, on Max, because I love the Dune movies, but there was one other, it was whatever it was in that Red Letter Media video.
Agatha All Along.
It wasn't Agatha All Along, but it was something else that I just heard of in that video. But I can't remember what it is at the time. Some series that's hooked to a franchise I like, that seems like pretty high, but I was just like, no, this has to stop. There has to be a point where I just say,
I'm not doing this.
Like, I had to say no on principle, not because I don't think it's good. Like, I'm sure Dune Prophecy is good, but for my own mental health, I need to say no to it.
Yeah, right.
I need to just say, this is where I draw the line. I'm not watching spin-off TV shows anymore of stuff that I haven't already like committed to. It's got the same font as Dune, and it's got some of the same, actors probably, and like, Denis Villeneuve's an executive producer, but it's not the same as watching the films. It's not going to be. And
you know what that EP role for him is very loose. There's somebody else who's pulling the strings, and they just go to Denis every so often, and they're like, hey, do you want to look over these? And he's like, it's fine.
I don't have time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm out here doing actual work.
Yeah, right. I'm not making a product.
I'm creating more shit for you guys to replicate and monetize.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I'm making art. Y'all are making disposable products.
I'm trying to write the third script for this trilogy so I can be done with it and leave before I sell the entire part of my soul.
Correct. That Red Letter Media video, I promise we'll talk about Pixar, but that Red Letter Media video was funny because that first bit where they were naming all the shows that got canceled and they're like, never heard of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they could have made up all of those things with like Photoshop posters, AI generated posters, and I would never have known. Yeah. Like there were like 2 of them that I'd heard of. Everything else is like zip line.
Too tall.
If a tree falls in the forest, ...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If a tree falls.
When a tree falls.
Master of paint. Paint wars.
Paint wars.
Scaly man. I'm gonna be making
the shoe fits. I'm just naming like idioms like that. That's what show titles are to me.
To me, in the future, editing this, my job now is to go to Midjourney and generate some posters of all of these shows we just named.
Yes, there you go. But literally, like to me, every show now is just like an idiom, like a half of an idiom.
Yeah,
and then that's like driving up the wall.
An idiom made manifest.
Yeah, drive me up the wall.
Driving up the wall.
Sitcom.
It's just a car going up the wall.
It's just a car going straight up the wall with a generic man who's the lead actor,
and he's going. I don't know. I guess we're driving up a wall. They
used to get comedy leads from Second City. Now I was just working at Kroger.
I lost my job during COVID. And now I'm in the sitcom. And I'm driving up the wall.
Drive me up the wall. I've got a kooky neighbor.
Tune into ABC for Mad as Hell. And it's just like the devil. He's going, meh.
Yeah, it's the devil. But no, he's back to back with some guy in a Hawaiian shirt. And they have their arms crossed.
I can't believe the attendance in hell is so bad that I had to move in with my cousin Dan. Rent is so out of control in hell that I had to invite Dan to split the difference with me. He's such a cuck.
The theme song. Dan and the devil on a Friday night.
And we're mad as hell.
I'll get you.
Cut to commercial. Boom, 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 boom. The Home Depot. Then
there's an establishing shot of hell over like sitcom jingle music.
Just,
and it's just flames.
Just crumbling buildings and like screams of victims.
It cuts inside and Dan's like, I can't sleep, all that screaming. The audience roars with laughter.
You think you can tone it down with the the torturing? Trying to get a good night's sleep here. What is this, hell or something?
And then Satan comes out of his room going, the screams of the damned. What a delicious night's sleep.
And Satan's like, he's just like sleeping. Or was it Little Nicky when he snores? He's just like,
yeah, it's demonic. Oh man!
All right, how long have we been going? 15 minutes. All right, Pixar.
Satan, your pitchfork was in the dishwasher again. Oops, sorry, Dan.
Hey, did you turn on the heater dry? Oh. I did actually, and it melted. Oh, well.
Well, you'd think that would withstand the heat, considering we're in hell.
I knew I should have bought it from China.
Why is Satan the Rodney Dangerfield in your version?
Because he isn't Little Nicky.
No respect. Nobody respects me.
I have no original ideas.
He's Grandpa Munster in your version.
I'm just gonna cast that guy from Kevin Can Fuck Himself that looks like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh yeah.
Just to do it again.
To play it,
yes. With his gigantic bulgy eyes.
It's so funny that you can improv an entire sitcom in 5 minutes.
Someone listening thought this was a good idea until we were extremely clear this is a joke.
Yes. Put a star on this episode, because when that sitcom is inevitably actually made, they will use the exact jokes we just thought of, even if they've never listened to this episode, and we might have a case.
Yeah, we'll see your asses in court. Look at me. Don't.
This is recorded September 24th, 2024.
Don't.
If that show was written after that date, you owe us big time.
I'll see you in hell, which is the spinoff when Dan becomes the devil in Hell 2 in separate.
The next generation.
Suburban hell. But they run at the same time, like Buffy and Angel, and occasionally crisscross, so it's confusing as shit which one you're even watching. Like,
right?
Which is this? Is this Mad as Hell or I'll See You in Hell? I don't.
These are exactly the same.
What is this? Just the same show twice?
Yes.
The whole 4th season of I'll See You in Hell is just season 3 of Mad as Hell reran. No one notices. Rave reviews, Emmys.
Yes.
The creators just put the thing on a loop and went to Hawaii.
That's that's an arc right there. The devil goes to Hawaii. You know, every sitcom had the travel to Hawaii episode.
That's the mid-season movie they do, like the Brady Bunch movie.
Yes.
The big crossover event. Yeah. Oh boy.
The concierge at the hotel. Mr. Satan, are you enjoying your time here in Honolulu? I don't know. It's really hot.
Or he's super cold. It's like, oh, it's so cold here.
It's 92 degrees.
Yeah. Sir, it's unseasonably hot even for us.
Yeah. Oh.
You're as unseasonably hot as your mother. In hell. You get it? Because she's there now. I was lying. I was just angry. I'm sorry I lashed out at you. I'm just so cold.
Also, I'm not sorry. Satan doesn't apologize.
Yeah, that's right. Just kidding.
Smoke.
Snaps.
The flesh ripped off his bones.
He turns into ash except for his eyeballs, like the Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. On a pile of ash, 2 eyeballs. They still blink somehow. Are we going to make an episode tonight?
I think so. All right, Pixar.
Good Lord.
Okay. I don't know how we're actually going to make a mature transition to an unfair subject after all that silliness, but that's just our nature. All right. Shit's bad at Pixar. Basically, the gist of this article, I'll put it in the show notes if people want to read it. Maybe you've already read it. Maybe you don't know how to read. I don't know. In which case, just keep listening. Basically the gist of the article is that Disney sucks. And even with a hit like Inside Out 2 there was still a ton of layoffs at Pixar, and bad hours and kind of ludicrous decision-making about, and all the stuff we talk about on this show a lot, which is like wrong conclusions drawn from bad performance. Like, for instance, like the Pixar or the Disney executives believed that one of the reasons that the Pixar film Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear spinoff film where he's a real person, he's a real space ranger. One of the reasons that they legitimately think it was a failure at the box office was because there was a same-sex kiss in it. They think that there was a market response to that kept people staying home, and it had nothing to do with the low Rotten Tomatoes score or the fact the movie was just
confusing for children,
a well-rendered piece of shit. You know, It wasn't a good movie.
Right.
It had uninspired casting, and all kinds of other problems. And they were like, I think it was the kiss. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And that they made decisions in Inside Out 2 based on that fear. I haven't seen the film at the time of the recording, but the article mentions that the character Riley has this interaction with this other kid, this other girl that is not explicitly, romantic, but enough there to where you could infer it and it would make sense, versus like in Luca, where I am picking up on some stuff and the creator flatly denies it.
Yeah.
They were like, we put it in there, but it's not for like just any kind of weird Hollywood agenda that people think it is. It is literally to make the film as broadly appealing as possible. That includes the LGBTQ community. Like, yeah, you want some stuff in there for them to latch onto as well, because cynically, you want their dollars too. But you can't make it too explicit, because you want, the straight community is to latch onto it too and give their dollars. And if anyone understands broad appeal for more dollars, it's Disney. But they're like, I don't know if we cater at all to that community. I don't know. We may have a bad turnout like Lightyear, and that's again not the problem. And it trickles down to the animators too.
It's interesting. I'm not sure that part of the report. Like I'm sure there was some people. There were some people at Disney that thought that and rejected it because of that. Having seen Inside Out 2, there certainly is some like longing gazes at this other character from Riley. But it definitely to me plays more as like idolization of an older girl, like role model ish.
Yeah.
I could see how if you wanted to read it as romantic, you could, right? Like, you can read a lot of stories, a lot of novels, and you can read into the author's intent different things, right? Because it's broad, it's non-specific. So you could read it. There are folks who read Sherlock Holmes and are convinced that there's a relationship between Holmes and Watson. And you can read that, right? But I have a hard time believing that there ever was anything more than what we see, and that the film was retooled because of it. Maybe there was, but it certainly, like story-wise, wouldn't have fit. So I don't believe that Pixar would have put that romantic element in, because there's nothing in the film as is. And again, maybe the whole thing was retooled, but like there's nothing that feels like, they could have gone that direction. Like the story never leans into that. It's definitely about friendship and idolization of older kids and like the peer pressure of trying to fit in with a new crowd. Like that's the theme of it. So it doesn't feel to me like it ever could have been romantic, but I can see how if you wanted to read that into it, you certainly could. So I can also understand Disney's cold feet to not go into that territory. So I can I would understand why Disney would say we've got to pull back from that. I also think it's a little ridiculous that we're even having conversations about this, because like you said, you're pulling bad data from a film that failed to supplement the story of one that is working.
Right.
And I think that that's probably not always the best move. But more interesting than that, than the retooled story for bad reasons, is the working conditions of the animators themselves. That's where I get upset, because, these are the folks that make the entertainment we enjoy. And you expect them to be treated well and to enjoy the job that they do, because it brings joy to so many people. It's frustrating to hear that people are being mistreated at work, wherever it is, but especially when it's at a company that stands or should stand for something better for their employees.
Yeah.
And whose whole shtick over the years has been happiest place on earth, has been, this is for the kids. And it turns out it's actually for the dollar. And of course it always was, but At least there used to be a pretense where it wasn't.
There used to be like a homeostasis. There used to be like a hemispheres of a brain, like there was a very creative and artistic side of companies and of, entertainment companies like Disney. And then there was the corporate side, and they didn't really interfere. It was symbiotic. It was like, you're feeding us, we're feeding you, and I don't want to imply that it was always rosy and harmonious, because it really never was, but it was less transparently sinister feeling than it is now. And there's like complete dysregulation. It's like an invasive species has shown up in the ecosystem. Like Disney, it's like all of a sudden there's these Burmese pythons, and we're like, whoa, what? Hey, you can't be, and they just eat all the animators, I guess. And it's out of balance, and there's no balance, there's no homeostasis, and it sucks. It sucks to hear. It's sort of the reaction whenever I talk about this stuff to people is always a non-surprise, cynical, like, well, what'd you expect from a big corporation? It's like, well, I know what you mean, but I truthfully, I expect better. Totally. Because it shouldn't be this way. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm appalled. I am appalled, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm getting mixed feedback on whether or not they can, the Pixar employees are allowed to be part of the Animators Guild, because I thought that maybe they are or aren't. I was read somewhere that Emeryville is somehow out of their jurisdiction, but then someone else was like, that's not true. There's other houses across the country that are in it. I don't know, but like, this regardless, I'll go on a branch here, because I don't know the stipulations and the union situation with the animators, but just broadly speaking, this is why you have unions for industries like, and for gigs, essentially a gig economy. Like you need even for I don't want to get on a soapbox about unions in general, but so just for the entertainment industry, you need unions. And the reason why is because you need fair working conditions, and you need a buffer against studios who do not care how many hours they're making you work, because they are justifying it as, we got to get this project done, we got to meet this deadline that we established, and make all these changes that we keep flip-flopping on because we don't have a creative vision and we're changing too much shit, and we're going to make human beings scramble to make these gigantic changes for this hugely potentially profitable product to go out in like 3 weeks or whatever. And we're going to do that by making everyone work on 120 hour weeks and work 7 days a week. And it's just, everyone knows it's bad. And it's sort of like it's like any bad habit or any bad behavior. It's like, imagine you started kicking your dog and you're like, well, it's because he was barking too much. And then like it's like, day 700 of kicking your dog. And you're like, oh man, I've been kicking my dog for years. You shouldn't have been doing it. Right. You can't, it doesn't matter if there's a why, you're going to wake up one day and every single time you did it, you justified it. And the reality is it shouldn't have been done in the first place. Yep.
Totally. So here's my thought on the whole thing is like, trying to think like what changed, what's to blame. Like obviously the film business has always been a little bit brutal in terms of its, working conditions.
Very flawed.
But what changed to make it so that people are working 120 hour weeks, 7 days a week, pulling their hair out to get this thing done. And one of the first things that came to my mind is how far out these studios are announcing release dates.
Yep.
By trying to hit a release date at a specific time, many a project has shortcutted and ended up with bad, sort of like a story that's not ready or a film that isn't ready. Like we've seen Marvel release films and then patch them essentially. So they come out, the visual effects aren't quite there.
Yep.
And then like 3 weeks later, the theaters are shipped a new version with patched visual effects.
Ugh.
We've seen this happen.
Yeah.
This means that those visual effects artists were working until up to the wire, didn't make it, but were still obligated to finish what they started.
Yeah.
And they just were like, well, we'll just send out a new version and no one will be the wiser, which is so sketchy because by that point, the film's done, like in terms of its theatrical run. So
critics
all these animators, all the animators that have been working so hard and visual effects artists, their work in the patched version will likely not be seen by very many people. And that sucks. And what will be remembered is the bad version. So anytime they say, oh, I worked on the shot where, oh, that bad one? No, I worked on the good version. Oh, I never saw the good version. Right. And like, that sucks. And so again, one of the things I thought that may be working against us is stop announcing these release dates so like early into production. Wait until you have a solid timeline. Like if you want to have an internal deadline, you should, and you can, but it's internal. And then like, obviously you need to build buzz for a film. You can't just be like, movie's coming out and eventually. And then like when the movie's done, be like, tomorrow, we'll release it tomorrow. You can't do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe there should be some level of, hey, we're going to say we're shooting for a July release. And that's as specific as we're going to be. And maybe we'll hit it. Maybe we won't. Doesn't matter. But the point is, hey, animators, VFX artists, this is your deadline. They hit that deadline or they don't. But regardless, the film is only released when it's ready. And if that means they have to sit on it an extra couple months in order to properly market it, once they have a fully final locked version, I would much prefer that. And I personally would wait an extra few months for any of these movies that I'm anticipating if it meant that the employees didn't work their butts off and have mental health breakdowns trying to give me a product that I enjoy, but it's not changing my life. So why should it change theirs?
It used to just sort of, you'd see a trailer in like September, in a theater for something. And then it's like, blah, 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 Inside Out 2 coming this Christmas. You're like, oh my God, like that's like in 3-4 months. There's that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think that, so obviously they secured the release date 2 years prior or something, but we didn't know about it. And I wonder if the internet has ruined that. Has the internet ruined registering for release dates, or can they just do what we see Marvel do at Comic-Con all the time, which is, hey, we have release dates for an untitled project. We're not going to tell you what it is. Like, can they just do that? And because it doesn't matter what you're releasing, because you can swap release dates. It doesn't matter what you're putting there. You could put a guy taking a poop on that release date if you really wanted to. Yeah. I wish you would. That'd be great.
I guess it's the shareholders that are driving this. Like, hey, we need to know that you've got content coming out. And it's like, cool, we do. Just just don't worry about it. Shut up. Why do you have to know what we're doing exactly? Like, that's the, like, because we gave you money. Shut up.
Just fuck off. But I agree. Like, it ought to be like, maybe the internet has ruined it, but if you can do release dates without having to declare what exactly it is to, like, most people, then you can maintain that element of surprise. You can save face if you're running late on the project and just put something else there. Or just don't release anything. And no one ever knew that, maybe some people know, like, Disney backed off of some release date, like in Christmas. I wonder what's going on. And then like in March, they release Inside Out. And then people go, Inside Out must have been the title. And then Disney goes, yeah, because you're trying to treat our employees fairly, you fucker. And they're like, sorry. Like, it would just take a year or two of that of like, sorry. Like of outlets feeling like assholes for reporting on stuff that means good news for employees. Right. But it has to be that. Like, the release date is the problem. And if you just, it's like I keep saying stuff like this. I've been reading all this shit and it's coming up in my head. It's like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like Kennedy, it was like the way that got solved was back channel, like talking, and basically Russia saying like, we're going to back down, but we need a way to back down to save face. Can you can you say you're going to take your missiles out of Hungary or whatever it was in like 9 months so that we don't look like wimps? And Kennedy's like, yeah. And then they come out as like, I made them back down. Russia's like, they backed us down. Just make sure you get those missiles out. And it's all about saving face. It's all blustering and big talk and like trying not to look like an idiot. And if you just take away the public view of that part of all of this, I feel like you don't have to do all this dumbass stuff to look competent or to avoid looking incompetent. Yeah, and thereby you are acting competent.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, there you go. Just do that, everyone.
There you go. We've solved it.
There you go. That one's for free.
Hoopercast. We solve all the world's ills.
What do you got for us next? Come on. Faster.
Hunger.
That's going to take a bit. Yeah.
I got a good solve. You ready? Food.
Some companies still know how to make food.
Some companies still give food to underprivileged people. Wow, this food is delicious, says the people.
Says the people, comma, while eating the food, comma, but not too much food to be audibly heard, semicolon. No one's talking with their mouths so full, comma, but pretty full because we gave them a lot of food, comma, but not too full because we don't want people to choke, comma, but there's enough food in their mouths that we gave them that they could choke, comma.
Some companies are still concerned about people choking.
All right. That's going to have to be it for this one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I knew I should have bought it from China. I have no original ideas.